1149, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score. Our opponent, 98 games, it's another new account. Not brand new, but another new account. It's more than enough games that to establish a rating. Maybe 20 or 30 is enough for most players. So let's just see how it pans out and see if we are playing an 1100, which obviously is a relative beginner. It knows the opening theory and the advanced carrot. So we get the bishop out. We're trying to stop white from playing pawn up in pretty much all of these, so we can play e6 ourselves. If he knows a move like g4, obviously it would be a little bit concerning. So we just take it and we play e6, but he knows this phase of the carrot, and then you pretty much always play c5, but you've always got to look out for what moves your opponents play. Like bishop down there, you're not going to play c5. It would be a free bishop if you spot it, but it would be a free queen for black if you don't. But in principle, you're going to play c5 here. If check, you can just block. So he played queen across to put pressure on here, logical, but it doesn't stop us playing c5, at least for this move. Yeah, I need to mix these openings up a little bit, especially against the low-rated players. Maybe play some more Sicilians. Mix it up a little bit more. So he's got options. This. You can maybe bring the queen back over. So he's gone with the knight. Okay. I was going to develop my knight, but do I want to go here or do I want to bring this one across? Here, if he takes, it's a temporary pawn sack. We've got knight here. I mean, I could just take first. Knight takes. You just got to be careful about moves like this. Let's take though. Give it a 2-to-1 center. Okay, he took back quickly there. Knight here, I think, must be a decent move. We get the knight out before he does this. As long as we move the knight against somewhere, then the other knight can maybe come here. So let's come here, shall we? See that we've got to be careful about a weird smothered mate, of course, now. But knight down here is obviously problematic. But as soon as we move our knight somewhere, we should be okay. Then we cover this with the bishop as well. Not necessarily brilliant, so I'm just planning on going here to take pressure off so we can castle. That's what I'm trying to do. Or maybe queen here, but that walks into this. Okay, so he's played bishop down. We could play pawn up. He's playing it very well, actually. Very, very well. I was going to play knight here, but I'm actually going to play this way. I'll attack the bishop. And we'll double attack this pawn. Right now it's double protected, of course. So bishop here, we'll just have to move our queen, but we don't want to allow this. But now the bishop's free to take back, and we could still maybe castle. He's playing this very well, isn't he? Very, very well. Okay, so he's played knight around, so that gives us a chance to take the bishop. Then if he comes in, we can still take here, so I like the look of that. Let's just get rid of that bishop. If he comes in first, we'll take back. I guess he should just take here, and we can move the bishop, or we can move the knight, or we can force the issue here maybe. Yeah, I like the look of that. So are you coming in and we'll take, or are you going to drop back and we'll attack the pawn? He does come in, so we'll take. So we just want to get ourselves castled now. We can try and go after the pawn at some point. Maybe we can try and play e5. We just want to make sure our king's safe. So he's played the opening very, very well. Very well. Rook across could be a move. We can just collect this pawn back. We're doing pretty well. But you see, it's still very, very balanced. If we don't get that pawn back, then we've got a bit of a serious problem, of course. So he's played rook across. So I've got rook here. And it just gives him a natural pawn push, doesn't it? But it takes away the square for his knight. Now, rook here, and he puts the knight there. Good or bad? I've got queen here, which I could play immediately as well. And I guess he can do this. Actually, that might be better. I could go queen here and offer a queen trade. And then we should be pretty certain to get the pawn. Or here, takes. Now, say we get rook across. Can he just launch one here? Maybe he can. I don't want to play this and weaken this just yet. So queen here, but I tend to play the same against everybody of every rating level. Maybe you shouldn't do that, but I tend to, just in case the rating is not accurate or even remotely accurate. So I'll play queen across and offer the queen trade. We hit the pawn if he doesn't. And I'll probably take with a knight. Yeah, you never know if you're playing an actual 1100 or not. So he's played queen across. I mean, we can still take, but we're trying to just go after this pawn. So I'm going to play a development move with my rook, preparing to target that pawn. So I can still take, rook takes, shift the knight somewhere. Now he takes, but now we've got the one move threat to take here. So does he see a move like c4? c4 I guess we can take, but it guards the pawn for him. Or maybe we can just take, let him take and take again. Yeah, he's played knight up, logical, but I think we're fine to take here. There's no immediate threat. So let's get rid of that pawn while we can, and then try and shift the rook off the file or drop back and connect them together. Probably go here, probably, and then try and put pressure on the pawns. But we don't want to be in a position where c4 comes and then we have to, we've got a bit of a problem. So we can go here and attack the knight. If the knight moves, we hit the pawn. And if he plays rook up, then maybe we can just simply double up. And there's no knight jump to attack the rook. And if he pushes the pawn, we just take the knight. Now we've got to give our king an emergency square for later in the game, and our opponent should do the same as well. We can go up 1 or 2, we can push this one. So he's found that move. So let's just play the quick rook across and pressure the knight. If the knight moves again, there's a pawn loose and a back rank checkmate threat. So he's pushed his pawn forward, but I think we can take now. If he takes here, we could take. If he takes here, we're still in time to guard. So take, take, take. Then if he takes, we just take back. So I think it's fine to take the knight there. You just got to try and check it just in case. Just in case there's a trick there and he can promote a pawn. But I think we're fine there. And if takes, takes. We've got a back rank mate threat though. So we've still got to pay attention here. Rook across and just give ourselves a pawn push. Over there, I can actually grab another pawn. But it's always dangerous until you've given yourself a pawn push and given that king a square. So let's do that now. I'm not sure if it matters which one I push. Let's just do this one. So we're not going to blunder the back rank mate now. And we can just simply play rook down and go after this pawn. So he's come across. So rook here should be very good. He can check and we can step up. I don't see anything else to particularly play there. Let's just come back and attack the pawn. Okay. I'm going to collect that pawn and just try and run it up the board now. And then maybe just chuck this pawn and step the king up. But considering rating gap's the thick end of 1,000 points, it's a really good effort by my opponent, isn't it? See, the fundamentals are there, the good understanding. Yeah, let's just bring the king up. I'm not in any rush, I just want to win the game. But in principle, we'll bring the rook forward and just chuck the pawn up as far as we can, and then eventually we'll push it all, push this one. So he's checked, so we'll step our king forward. Excuse me. Okay, so he's come forward with his pawn. It does actually allow us a nice move with rook here to stop his king step forward, so we'll do that. Just it's difficult for the king to come and support the pawns now, so knight up could be a move, knight up could be a move. But in principle, we're just trying to run these two pawns, get them as up the board as we possibly can. So there's nothing wrong with our opponent playing the game out, just in case we mess it up. But equally, it's in an arena, so he could just get on with another game. Nothing wrong with either option. Now, there's always something to learn when you play a game. So you can just practice a little bit of endgame technique. That's perfectly fine. Let's take back here. But it's difficult to get your king into a stalemate position. If you had the pawn like that and the king here, it would be a lot riskier. Doesn't matter whether I do the pawn or the knight. I'll go with the pawn, I think. Just undouble it. But yeah, because the king can't come forward now, it's difficult for white to create a stalemate opportunity. We just need two moves here, then push this one. The knight can blockade, push again. Okay, so just push. But you just want to get it up as far up the board as you possibly can do, and then maybe do a second one with this one, as and when you can. I think I'll just bring the knight and bring the king up. Maybe this pawn. There's too much here, obviously, for white to deal with, barring really crazy mishaps. They do happen though. There's nothing wrong with playing on just in case. Just in case. But let's chuck this pawn now and try and bring the king up. I mean, I could throw in a check and advance the pawn here as well, but it lets his king out, so I'm trying not to do that. I mean, I could go here as well, up and try and pin the rook. This pawn can't move, so he's just going to try and create some sort of stalemate, if you possibly can. But I think we're ready to push the pawn and push the pawn now. This is where stalemates might come in a little bit of an issue, but as long as the king's got one legal move, you just got to bear that in mind. Then if he sacks and we take, it's not a stalemate. So he's going to cross to hit the pawn. But if we go here now, then we're going to create a checkmate threat. So we'll just chuck the pawn up, and now it's an actual mate threat. So he's given us a check, so we'll drop back. We could go back and hit the rook, I guess, couldn't we? Yeah, that looks cleanest. And the king's got a legal move, so there's no stalemate if he just drops the rook. He takes the pawn, so we deliver the checkmate. But considering the rating gap, that's a very good effort on it. Very good. Let's see what it was in engine speak. So just pause so we don't accidentally start another game. So 43 moves. They're the move times. So let's analyze it. See if we've got anything to learn. In particular, you're trying to learn from opening mistakes when you do these reviews, or if there's any nice principles you're not familiar with. You're 96 and 90% on the accuracy. That's good, isn't it? Okay, he's got a struggling position, but he's been finding lots and lots and lots of good moves, and that's how you learn and improve at chess over time, over a long period. But he's played some really, I could tell he's playing some pretty good chess here. He knows the opening in this advanced carrot. Whether he actually knows it or he's just found the right moves, obviously I don't know. Okay, knight came across, should have just developed the other knight there. But knight takes bishop was correct for us, then a6 was correct, takes was correct, but I shouldn't have castled. I should have played this rook across move. I just thought it might encourage pawn upon knight up and give him a development move, but castling was actually a mistake. So was rook to d1. He should have just developed his knight. Then queen up was actually good to offer the trade here. Rook across was good. Take back with the knight was good. Take the pawn was good. So have I got any more issues? No, I've played the rest of the game really well. So I found all the right moves here. And you just got to make certain you don't blunder this background, because it does happen. Say you don't set this up and then you do a mouse slip on a move or something, it could be disastrous. So I took the pawn there while I could, and then just made sure I'm not going to blunder that back rank mate. And our opponent did the same thing, but if I could get the king here and here before the pawn comes forward, there's always a potential for a stalemate. There's always that potential there, but we've managed to cut the king off here. But he's been finding lots and lots of good moves in a difficult position. Like I say, that's over time, how you learn and how you gradually improve. So a very good effort there, well done.